Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Irvin, with another volume chapter review. Now this is going to be a special volume review because I'm reading off a Omnibus edition. It's going to be on I Am Hero. You'll probably hear by the thumbnail, by researching it anyways, but I Am Hero is an amazing series. It's been on my waiting list for a long time. I really don't know why I waited so long, because the first volume was amazing. It really is good. Now, I think each omnibus are about 2 volumes. From what I read, it's a very highly award-winning series. I don't know when exactly this was written, but it's been in the shelves for a while, so it's been at least 8, maybe 7 years. I could be wrong, but I think it's about around that long of a series. I Am Hero is genre-wise is a zombie slash survival series, although the first volume doesn't really give you that vibe. Now, before I continue with all that, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel, give some likes, comments, and shares on this video, guys. Also, that helps me so much. You don't know how much that helps. But I am trying to also reach 3,400 subscribers here, so I'm hoping that is possible for the month of June. It looks like 3,300 was a very low go. Now, I'm looking at my phone here because I'm checking the year. It was released, first released 2015, so it's about 5 years old of a series. It's great to know when it was written because I really want to tell you guys the similarities of what's happening today to this series. It's scary, but it's very similar. Lastly, guys, go check out my other volume reviews. I have so many other mangas that I'm reviewing, not just horror, but other stuff as well. I'm hoping to release more and more volume reviews in the next few weeks, so make sure you catch up to all those. Also, lastly, there is a huge spoiler alert because I don't want anything to be ruined for you guys, but you guys have been warned. Spoiler alert, past this point, you know, I would say the first 3 minutes is not too much of a spoiler, but after that, spoiler alert. Okay, I Am Hero. What I like about this series the most is all over the cover, in the back, it says the greatest zombie manga ever. Zombie manga, zombie manga, zombie manga. You read the first volume, and other than maybe 2 instances, it doesn't give you a zombie vibe. You just kind of, you're wondering, like, what the heck is going on, you know? First we meet our protagonist, Hideo, and Hideo he's a paranoid person. He can't sleep at night well because he thinks that there's things, you know. He checks certain areas of his house, certain rooms of his house, like the restroom, turns all the lights on, makes sure everything looks how it's supposed to look, and then he takes his gun out and he feels secure in his house, in his own house, and then that's about it. He either falls asleep or just stays awake the entire night. Very quickly, as a reader, you can get confused because he speaks to a person, and this person, you're wondering, like, is that his roommate? Is that his little brother? Is that, you know, who is he, right? Is that his son? Well, it turns out that it's all in his imagination. He has, like, this make-believe person that he explains his life to. He explains his pains, he explains his goals, he explains his troubles, and even just conversations he's had with people from work. Like, for example, I think the first instance that he comes out, he's talking about how there's a show that airs at 4 a.m. and one of his coworkers loves it because of the girls, you know, they're skimpy looking, so he likes them, as well as why that guy watches the news, because he likes to see news anchors, because nowadays most news anchors are news anchors because they're pretty, you know. That's why they're there, to get the attraction of the viewers. So his conversations with his imaginary friend, or really himself, are really much, I think, interesting in its own way, because it explains how he views the world and how much of an introvert he is. Let's just say that. Now, his workspace is interesting. Apparently, Hideo used to be a manga creator. He was an author. He was, I think, for 6 months his series was being released. The problem is the editors stopped liking his series because his main character keep being more and more of a side character. He didn't outshine other characters in the series, so they found it odd and weird, and they just completely cut him off. So he ended up in an agency that works on creating pages for manga. So essentially, he's now an artist that's drawing all day, creating pages for manga to be released the following weeks, right? So he used to have that work done for him. Now he's doing that work. So he's definitely a few steps down the chain, and he's gone down. So ever since then, he's been trying, and a few times we see in the volume, he's been trying to get better on his writing. He turns in drafts almost every single time. The editor kind of goes, man, this is a great story, I like the main character. He's like, oh, that's not the main character. The main character is this guy. He's like, wait, what? That makes no sense. Why would he be the main character? So he then explains it in one of his imagination thoughts, that how can he relate his life into a manga if he doesn't feel like the main character in his life? And that just speaks volumes. He's in a depression state. I mean, he really doesn't feel like a hero. He actually, the reason the manga is called I Am Hero, he calls himself a hero so he can make himself feel better. Now, in all of this mix of him feeling not stable in work, he has a girlfriend, Teko, and Teko, it at first seems to be quirky and cute and awesome from him. Like they have this whole little dance. They have this whole little cute thing where they kiss, and she even offers sexual pleasures to him, and it's one of those, like, okay, she's there for him in some way. Like, she cooks for him. They have conversations, but then it completely changes. She mentions Nakata. She mentions how she turned her draft into Nakata, and Nakata gave her his draft, and they've been exchanging drafts, and they've really just kind of been growing together. And we figure out who Nakata is. Nakata is her ex-boyfriend. She still talks to her ex-boyfriend and has this conversations of how they're gonna work together and all this stuff. And Hideo really feels like in the shadow in his own relationship with Teko. And it very much shows as well how insecure he is, because when he first talks about Nakata, he mentions him as being like a badass person, and he mentions him being the guy that would have a girl on his motorcycle driving fast and then doing stuff to that girl, and that that speaks volumes to the fact that he knows that he's not that level. And he's not that person either. So he doesn't understand how Teko went from that guy to him, because they're completely polar opposites. Hideo is more of, he needs to be nurtured, which is kind of weird. There is a point where Teko needs to nurture him, and we'll get to that right now in a second. But they're complete opposites. And Teko, she's horrible. Like, she always mentions, and then she gets drunk, and when she's drunk, she's even worse. When she's drunk, she cusses Hideo out. She lets him know that she's tired of him. She's tired of his of how he's so afraid he is, and all this other stuff. So not the best healthy relationship ever. But Hideo is with her because he needs someone. He needs someone in his life, so he just stuck with her. And we find out that they met through the company. She essentially was working there in that company doing drawing stuff, and Nakata was actually working with her, and Nakata got moved up, Hideo got moved down, Hideo got replaced Nakata, and essentially Nakata left Teko because he was moving up in the world. So Hideo and Teko ended up dating. Hideo ended up being her her second place, I guess, boyfriend or whatever. Anyways, it's just not the best relationship. The two instances about the zombies. The one instance is Hideo at one point when he's walking at night sees a girl being ran over, and then she gets up, her head is broken, and she keeps walking. Now, she doesn't do anything, but he notices that, so he runs to Teko's house and tells Teko if she can please nurture him. He runs to his house, and Teko shows up at his house. And he's like, can you please stay? I need you to hug me to sleep because, I saw something, and it wasn't my imagination now, it was real now. And from that point on, he definitely is freaked out. Then they continue the story, and essentially what not really scared me, but what put me kind of like in a what the heck state is throughout the entire volume, the news anchors are talking about, these people are getting sick. The main person of medicine is sick and is at home, and they'll throw out news like the minister of whatever is sick and we don't know when he'll be back. When Hideo is at work, one of his female co-workers is sleeping with the boss, and she gets sick. She's missed for a few days, and the boss gets sick, and the boss is not feeling well, and they don't see the boss again after that. So people are getting sick, and people are getting bitten. We hear about that. One of those people, and I want to tell you, spoiler alert again, get off this if you don't want to know the ending of this first volume. Get off right now. Okay, the ending is, towards the middle actually of the volume, Teko tells Hideo, you know what, I was at the park where you saw that girl, and this little girl came up to me and she bit me, and he kind of ignores her completely, and he continues talking about his own things. And then she calls him one day, and she's like, you know what, I'm not feeling well, I'm sick. They don't see each other for a few days, and the volume ends with Hideo going to Teko's house, and Teko is now a zombie. Now, he doesn't know that. He just sees her get up. He's watching her through the mailbox thing, which is, I guess, their thing, and she's zombified. It's gonna be something. He's gonna have to end up either running away or having to kill her. I don't know. Man, out of 10, I agree with so many people that recommended this. This is by far maybe the best zombie series that I've read in a long time, and I can't even think of one that has been better than this one. So because of that, because of my love of horror and suspense, I'm gonna give this one a 9 out of 10. I rarely do that to first volumes, but 9 out of 10 is what I believe it deserves. It's a great series. The suspense of them throwing you little snippets here and there. This is happening in the world. Closures here. Stay home, please. Don't get out of your home. It just drives, especially right now with the whole COVID-19, how everything was happening right now. They're asking everyone to stay home. We don't know what this virus is. Don't make contact with people if you don't have to. All that. All that is happening in the series, and it's so interesting. Now, I will say this is a Sanai series. It is very much adult-oriented, even where he works and what he does and how he talks, and certain scenes with him and his girlfriend, very much adult. I don't recommend it for those who are not adults. So, and even if you're an adult and you don't like reading that kind of stuff, then maybe this one is not for you. But for me, it's 9 out of 10. The etchiness of the series is not really etchy. It's part of the series. It actually builds up the character from that, and I really enjoyed this series. And oh, man, I'm sorry if I release volume 2 quicker than I should. I should be releasing other stuff for you guys, but I just can't put this down. I'm gonna read this probably this weekend and review volume 2 for you guys pretty fast. So anyways, thank you guys so much for your love and support. If you haven't done so by now, make sure you subscribe to my channel and give a comment, like, and share. Guys, go check out my Discord. It is open for everyone, and like always, guys, don't be strangers. See you guys.